Saturday. We watch the fights, or we'd get the pay-per-view at home, and it was always something that I was like, I could do that. And like me and my friends would fight and stuff, or we'd fight other kids just for fun. And so it was always something that was kind of in the back of my mind. And really through high school, through early college, I'm wrestling, focused on wrestling. And then I did a camp in Missouri, and I was teaching wrestling all day. And then this dad came up to me and was like, "Hey man, we're doing a jiu-jitsu class after this. Would you want to come and try it out?" And I was like, yeah, sure. Like, I'm down. Let's go. And so I go in, and they just kind of, I rolled around with all the guys, and I was like, dude, this is fun. Like, I love this. I'm really, I have to fight. It was just that one class kind of.
One class.
Well, I was always interested in it, and I'd always play around. And then I actually I hadn't done it for a while, like played around at all. And then the guy invited me, and I'm just like about it. Like, what if somebody's like, yo, come do this? I'm like, let's go. And so it was just super fun to do something different. And that was probably in between my sophomore and junior year. And I was like, dude, I'm going to do this. I'm going to see this wrestling thing through to where I feel comfortable and ready to move on, and then I'm fighting. Like, I just knew I wanted to do it.
So was that jiu-jitsu class, was that the first thing outside of wrestling you done in combat sports?
I had done so this is actually kind of funny. When I was like 12 or something, I was probably younger. I was probably like 10 or 11. There was a jiu-jitsu tournament at a high school that my high school. So my dad was a high school wrestling coach, and this jiu-jitsu, it was like Naga or something. They wanted to put on a tournament at the high school, and so my dad set it up, like put all the mats in and stuff, and was like, "Why don't you enter?" I was like, "Okay, like let's get." I don't know anything. I've never trained, nothing. And he was like, "Just do it." And so I did that tournament, and I actually won. But I never trained or anything. I just wrestled.
Won with wrestling?
Yeah, it was like I'd watched UFC, so I knew, all right, the guy's gonna try to like guillotine me, or he's gonna try to like get my back, and I just like, don't let him do that. And again, I like played around, just watching stuff on TV. You can learn a few things. And so I did the tournament, and that was it. So I never trained.
Did you get any submission?
I think I submitted a kid. Yeah. What's this called, the like in front headlock? I forget this.
Oh, like a power guillotine?
Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
So I submitted the first dude like this, and then after that, I just kind of took the guys down and held them down and stuff. And actually in the finals, it was a tough match because I went against a kid who he wrestled as well, and I had competitive wrestling matches with him. Not that competitive, like I would kind of whip him in wrestling, but he also trained jiu-jitsu, and right away he like pulled guard, and I was like, but he knew good wrestling, so like I couldn't really like do anything to him. And I didn't know the rules at all, so he was winning on advantage. But then I somehow like got past this guard at the very end, and then they gave me points. But really, that was it up until my second, third year in college, and I did that class.
When did you start striking?
So I had a good buddy. He's actually the boxing coach now at my gym. He was a collegiate national champion in boxing. And I did like pads with him over COVID, like once or twice. And but I really started actually training striking, like getting into it. I started MMA training full time in August of 2021. That's when I started.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So you've really only been seriously striking for 2 years.
Yeah, that's it. And I feel like I just like it. It's fun, so I study it a lot. I'm always watching film.
Well, your last performance, man, like the thing about watching you fight inside the octagon, everybody knows how good it is, so they're looking for that. But in the last fight, I was like, oh shit! Like distance management, your ability to slide out of range and then explode back into range, and timing with punches. It looked like you've been boxing forever. It was very impressive. And I know the guy came in on short notice, he's small for the weight class, but dude, you looked fucking great.
Thank you. Yeah, I felt like, people say, about the matchup, this and that. It was like, well, I did what I was supposed to do.
Yeah, it was totally out of your control.
Yeah, and so I feel like I was just excited that I got a fight because I thought I was like,
who was supposed to fight you?
It was Trayshawn Gore.
That's right.
What
happened to him?
hurt. I don't know. It hurt his wrist or his thumb or something. But honestly, as soon as they announced it, I was like, I had a feeling he was talking crazy, saying he was gonna give me brain damage, all this stuff. I was like, all right, bud, we'll see. And then I was like, this dude freaking pull out after saying all this stuff. 'Cause I kind of expected it, but then the new guy came in, and I was just, like I said, grateful I got a fight. But yeah, you know, the actual fight, the plan was take him down, sell him. You know, of course, that's my wheelhouse. But I have great coaches, you know, for striking. You know, the dude I was telling you, his name is Moose. Played national champion boxing. Grew up in Philly. Probably had 70, 80 amateur boxing fights. And so that's who I'm training with and who's teaching me every day. And then I work with another guy. His name is Barry Robinson. You should check him out on Instagram. Million Styles Boxing. Dude's like amazing striking coach. He lives in Thailand now, but I brought him out to PA for a few weeks, and he worked with me on a lot of stuff. And dude, all my stuff is just from them. And, you know, I want to utilize my wrestling, right? But it's a fight, so you know, everybody's nervous. Oh, I'm going to take him down, this and that. But when I go in there, I have the hours and the reps of training this way in the striking, so that's what comes out. And I think that's my mindset now with fighting. I got like the ultimate cheat code with wrestling. So use that to my advantage, whatever it looks like, whether it's actually wrestling, take the guy down, hold him down, or whether it's the threat of it. And you know, that's where I feel like it's a psychological battle where, you know, the guy's so worried. If you saw, I just did like a little feint, dude dropped his hand, I was like, all right, you're done. Boom. And then after that, it was kind of funny because I hit him and I saw him wobble. I was like, in my mind, you're making so many decisions in that split second, but I was thinking, okay, I can take him down, I can back off, or just going for the kill. And that's just my nature, to like go for the kill. So then
When you have that wrestling base, it is such a challenge. I always tell any young wrestler that is 100% best position, because you get to choose whether a fight is standing or on the ground, and then there's the threat of that. And the threat of that has so many consequences in terms of like how your opponent's going to react, or what they're going to do. Like you were talking about that feint. It's so gigantic, like, because the guy always has it in the back of their head that you might take him down, but you don't ever have that.
no, yeah,
So
I'm not worried about it at all.
Freedom.
Yeah, it's. I would say in the actual fight, the biggest advantage is the psychology of them feeling threatened, feeling pressured, feeling nervous. Like, hey, if I get taken down, I'm probably not getting back up. I can't get taken down. Now that's what they're focused on rather than winning the fight. And you know, of course, you know, the actual skills that come with that of being able to implement that, the game plan, and do it is big. But if you ever notice and you watch guys fight or compete, especially in training, if you see one guy's a little more tense, a little more nervous, a little more reacting, that's such a big part of how much energy you spend in you know, your overall in the overall time of the fight. Like, I noticed when I got a lot better at wrestling, when I started pinning a lot more guys, was when I just relaxed. It was like this huge thing for me because I pinned a lot of guys growing up and got a lot of pins, but then in college, guys get a little better. They learn how to hold you off a little better. And so I would use all my energy, all my strength, try to throw them on their back. And a lot of times I would. And so I'd get up, you know, a bunch of points. Then towards the end, I'd get a little tired. I wouldn't finish as strong. Instead of just what I figured out later in my career was, all right, I'm just going to relax. I'm just going to move you around, just get in a position, pull you, push you, fake. And I'm very relaxed. Okay, you shoot, no worries. I'm going to down block, run around you. And then, you know, when I have my opportunity, maybe you're fading a little bit. Now I overwhelm you versus trying to do that when we're both fresh. So that's where I feel like in a fight, 15 minutes is a really long time. I don't got to overwhelm you in the first minute. I can, you know, just be relaxed, move, catch your jab, check your kicks, set you up, and then wham, and then overwhelm you when the time comes. And I'm very relaxed because, like you said, what are you going to shoot on me? Like, now, dude, you shoot on me, the fight's over. As soon as I catch somebody shooting on me, it's like, you're done. So that's what I want to do. But, you know, more than likely that's never going to happen. So they're going to be very tense, nervous, worrying about that stuff. So, yeah, that's kind of how I feel about, like, the wrestling advantage, right? Exactly like you said, it's so big to have that comfort.
Yeah, and that knowledge of when to hit the gas and when to relax, that plays such a critical factor when you move from 3 to 5 rounds as well. Like, so when a guy champion, and the guy's been fighting most like a John Jones type guy. He's been fighting 5-rounders for what, a decade plus. For a guy like him, he has almost like an internal sense of when to hit the gas and what to do, and how much energy he has.
Yeah, it's such a big thing, man. Wrestling, the longest match is 7 minutes. It's not even half of a normal fight. And then to go from 15 to 25, that's a huge jump. So that's something I'm definitely preparing for in my mind. And I think that fighting is it can become such an emotional thing. People get baited into fighting a certain way that it's so important to be disciplined. Not only, obviously you actually have to have the training and the base and the cardio to be able to do that, but then to also implement it in front of millions of people, and all the pressure's on you, and now there's this other guy who's a monster coming at you trying to knock you out. It's like, you got to be a certain type of person, I think, and have a certain mindset to be able to be disciplined and calm and stoic in that fire, right? Because you could have all the cardio in the world, but if you go 100% for 2.5 minutes, you can't do that for 25, right? You're going to lose it no matter what, even if you have the training. So keeping your cool in that situation, I think, is equally as important.
Yeah, we've seen that in so many guys get really emotional, really try to hit the gas in the first round, and then you see in the second round, they're blowing their wad. It's rough.
Yeah. And I'm glad that I was able to learn exactly that in wrestling, where the stakes are lower, and you don't really being tired in the fight is pretty much the worst thing that you can be, right? You got a guy who's a little more fresh than you, who's popping you a jab, who's kicking your legs, pushing you up against the fence. It's like, you do not want to
Yeah. No, it's hell.
Yeah.
When you want, like, a good example is like Sean Strickland and Adesanya. Yep. Like, Sean wasn't tired at all. When you get to the end of the round, and the end of the fight, you see Adesanya just beat up and tired, and Sean's just constant pressure on him.
Yeah. It's such a, I would say that, for my assessment is like, you got to be good at everything, but cardio is a real X factor in MMA, almost more so than any other sport, just because it's like, you can just put that on somebody, and if they can't sustain it, as long as you don't get knocked out in the first few minutes, like, they're just going to fade, and you're going to gain that energy. Eventually, you're going to kind of overpower them. It's the way that it works. Happens all the time again. Happens so often.
How the fuck did you get so good at striking so quick?
I think.
Did you have any, like, fucking around with your friends, hitting the bag, anything when you were younger, hitting mitts? That's nuts.
Yeah, nothing. I think
that's really very unusual.
Yeah, I think that really it's two things. Again, my coaches, the guys I work with, they're incredible. And they're so knowledgeable, experienced, and not only, like I said, I have these guys holding pads for me, coaching me. But guy Moose, I get to spar with him. How many MMA fighters have a guy that's a collegiate national champion with 80 amateur boxing fights as his main sparring partner? Most guys in MMA are striking other MMA fighters.
Right.
So I know if I'm hanging in there with him, and I can move and defend and hit him with some shots like what these guys do. So that's kind of where I started, and then I